She chose... Fuck! I knew it! God damn it! Choose wisely, Mr. What do you mean, Mr. Producer? This is Aki's choice, not mine! Yeah, go ahead. Become number one. I mean, she's probably going to die, and I'm gonna get bad end, because... Why not? But if I don't get bad end, I'm gonna be a little upset, because I kind of want to aim for bad end, so we can see both sides. Kashiwagi Aki. Kashiwagi Aki will become number one. Without a doubt. She wiped the tears off her face and looked up with steeled eyes. I've given it my all, and now I'm finally about to win it all. There's no way I'd walk away now. This is my victory. This is my destiny. No matter what happens, the number one will always be me, Kashiwagi Aki. The others vanished. In the end, they were not important. The others had merely been stepping stones for her to ascend to the heights of the idol world after all. From the very beginning, that had been all they were. In this business, there was no room for friends. Anyone who opened themselves up. That's not what I thought it meant by number one. So this seems like bad end. It was all me asking to betray later. Aki woke from her trance to a thunderous applause. The others looked at her, stunned amazement, as Aki received a standing ovation from the audience. They had never seen Aki perform like that. They had never seen any idol perform like that. Not even Okuda Shiro stood a chance against an idol of Aki's caliber. Aki raised her fist into the air, a very icon of triumph. Kashiwagi Aki is a Super Saiyan idol god. Thank you very much, Odaiba. Aki, Aki, Aki. Aki, 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 Aki. Aki, 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 Aki. God damn it. And aware of the change that had come over their center, the other girls broke into revealed grins as well. Even before the votes had been tallied, everyone who had witnessed Aki's performance knew Starnova would reign victorious tonight. Quasar's era was finished. Oh no, this is truly the worst to end. In the VIB pit, Oda smiled. That's the way, Aki-chan. It appears my judgment day has come for you. Oh, but don't worry, I'll keep the young master around. I hear our HR department needs a new junior associate. Best brush up on your Excel skills, boy, because from now, you'll be answering to me. Shit! God damn it. I don't like where this is going. I rushed behind the stage. I ran through the security tent. There was only one thing left on my mind. Aki. How was Aki doing? I finally saw the girls. Aki! She was being held up by Sasami Maria by the wrist. She raised her face and stared at me, her eyes wide with wonder. But the face I saw was no longer my dear Aki. It was that of a goddess. Oh! Producer, it doesn't matter what happens from now, because I am now forever. Oh, with that, Aki crumbled to the floor. Aki! 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 Oh boy. She's dead. She's dead. And so the name Kashiwagi Aki ceased to belong to a girl, but to a legend. No matter the years that passed, every aspiring idol looked to the stars and asked themselves how could they ever top what Kashiwagi Aki accomplished at the Idol Grand Prix of 2018. No matter the years that passed, every woman compared their faces, their bodies to Kashiwagi Aki, and always found themselves short. No matter the years that passed, men sighed in disappointment as they compared their lovers to Kashiwagi Aki's brilliant innocence but lusty charm. Nobody but, fucking hell, and no matter the years that passed, I never again produced an idol as magnificent and mighty as my one and only Kashiwagi Aki. She was truly one and only. An idol unparalleled, goddess ascendant. A glorious light which turned night to day. A cosmic moment of luminescence, possible only at the depth of the universe, this great orb of light. My brilliant Starnova! Yeah, you failed to protect your girls. Why can't it end like this? She chose no. No, but her very life had been dedicated to becoming the very best. The very first memory she had was of remote drilling in the importance of acquiring victory at all cost. What a life it had been since. She had first rose as a child, idol, and then she had fallen, but then she had rose again, and now as an adult? Yeah, as an adult, but yet you still call her a loli. And now she was on the cusp of holding in her gas, the moment she had been waiting for all this time. How could she turn away from it? She outstretched her hands to the shining future. It glimmered before her, but a hair's breadth away. I want it. My big victory. I want to be number one, to be remembered by everyone as a hero, to become a star, immortal. But she felt a hand on her arm. It drew her in close. Aki, you don't have to try so hard anymore. Mama's already happy with this. You've done more than enough. No matter whether others call you a winner or a loser, Mama will always love Aki the most out of everyone else. It's only natural. After all, she's my baby. Aki stood stunned by her mother's words. Never before had she said anything like that. Indeed, those had been the words she had longed to hear all these years. Great big drops of tears fell from Aki's eyes. In truth, she had wanted that the most. Not victory, not fame. Those had merely been incidental to the true object of her lifelong desire. All along, her only wish had been to finally win her mother's unconditional love. Why could you never say those words to me? Why did it have to be in a dream? All I wanted was to hear that you truly loved me. Regardless of whether I was an idol, regardless of whether I was winning or losing, all I wanted was... Why couldn't you ever say it? Why? All this time, Aki had deluded herself into believing that if she one day brought home a grand, magnificent trophy and presented it before her mother, and her mother would break into a smile and finally embrace her, and her mother would hold her dear and tell her that she had done well. It had all been a dream as fake as the one she saw but moments prior, one that she had to let go. Mama, this life doesn't belong to you. You were always like a ghost, standing behind me everywhere I went. Sorry about that, guys. Whispering in my ear that everything was okay. If it was in the name of pulling ahead in life, that life had to insufferable. That it was normal for girls to cry. That all great things needed to be paid for in blood. But you know, you should have known all along. There's no way something like that's alright. This is my decision. I'm going to live my life my way from now. I forgot, I never did the IUI. There we go. Yeah, was there another thing? Yeah. We gotta look at all the pictures. Look at the crying, pure child person. She's not a child. Look at the white. Oh no! I didn't mean. No! Oh, I didn't mean. Oh God! I've gone so far back. I didn't mean to do any of that. Wait a minute. I did not even get to read that. What the fuck? Do I have all skip on? No, why is all skip on? What the fuck? Wait a second. I'm going to live my life my way from now. I'm not going to exist anymore, only for the sake, or your sake, Mama. And you should stop existing only for my sake, too. Aki, good luck out there. Yeah. Her mother's image shattered into what looked like a million flower petals and scattered to the winds. Aki raised her head and watched them disappear into the azure sky. At long last, she was free. Now then, I suppose it's time to end this. She had spent long enough in this dream world. Now it was time to face reality. In truth, her entire body was burning. Her inside screamed at her to stop. She had retreated here so that she could continue performing, but now there was no further reason to continue like this. Aki spun backwards and drew Sasami and Maria close. I'm spent. I'm leaving the rest to you. Sure, you can leave it to us. Yeah, don't overdo it. With that, Aki fell back to the rear of their formation. Her movement slowed. They were no longer as grand or in sync with the beat as before. I question how the fuck all Skip got on. What the shit? Anyways, but her body thanked her for it. There would be plenty of chances to perform from now. There was no reason to risk everything here. After all, her time as an idol was only beginning, and she had so many more things she wanted to do from now. Her story couldn't end here. If fate deemed it in the years ahead, she would one day become truly a great idol, but right now she was satisfied at having come this far. She had done her best and had come short. She accepted her shortcomings without excuse. She did not lament the heavens or look back with great regret, but instead closed her eyes, proud of everything that had happened thus far. In the end, she was but a single idol in this enormous world. She could claim no disgusting power to lord over men and women. All she could do was live her life the way she wished, and maybe, just maybe, the others might see her little corner of the world and look upon her as an inspiration. That was enough, more than enough. And so, Starnova's Grand Prix performance finished. The girls' diehard fans shouted their support at the top of their lungs, but otherwise, the girls received modest applause from the general audience, hardly the kind of reception required to topple Quasar, the long-established queens of the entertainment business. But regardless of the reception, I stared on before them in awe. Regardless of where they ranked, in my eyes, Starnova would always be number one. It was the sort of love a father would feel for his daughters. There was no way I wouldn't proudly declare that I had been their producer, that I had been a part of something truly great. It didn't matter what anyone else thought. To me, my girls would always be the winners. Later, the top competitors of the Grand Prix lined up on the main stage for the announcement of the winner. A veritable sea of shining jewels. Every single idol who participated this year had been beautiful, devoted, and worthy. Any man on the street would be overjoyed to have one of these girls as their lover. It didn't matter whether she was first or last. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to announce the winner of this year's Idol Grand Prix. The girls closed their eyes in prayer as the drum roll began. The winner is Quasar! The Quasar music theme played on the loudspeaker as Akudashiro stepped out. I mean, I'm glad that they won because I don't want that creepy old man doing creepy old things, but at the same time, I kind of wanted to win for the sake of winning and just hope that that old man got hit by a bus the minute he stepped outside of here. But anyways, Quasar theme music played on the loudspeakers as Akudashiro stepped up to accept the massive first prize trophy. The crowd erupted into both howls and shock of euphoric screams of delight. Shit, how could she lose? Aki-chan, even though she worked so hard. Kyosuke put his meaty hand on his comrade's bony shoulder. The only time when a man must shed tears is for the sake of his girl. Big globs of tears welled up in Junpei's eyes. Shit! Aki-chan! Kyosuke held his partner in his arms and wept into the large man's bosom. The other men of Starnova fan club lowered their heads in respect, tears dropping down their cheeks as well. But they could not complain, nor could they speak of any excuses, for all the competitors tonight had done their best, played fair, and won or lost based on their abilities. I mean, Aki could have won, but she would have died. So, no. When the time came, the MC announced the runner-up. The runner-up, Starnova! Nova! Nova! Despite their tears, the men shouted their rallying cry with all their might. Aki walked up to the front of the stage and accepted the second-place trophy. Still a magnificent prize of silver. Aki's small stature made it look just as big as the first-prize trophy. Aki! 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 Look at my girl, she's so cute! I guess I would have noticed it in here, because there's a skip, but I'd never noticed it was highlighted or anything. She held the microphone in her hand to deliver her remarks. Despite not being number one, she took it upon the sea of supporters before her with a radiant look of wonder. Tears soaked her eyes, but they were not of sorrow. The audience quieted down. Her trembling voice echoed through the island of Odaiba. Tonight marks the second year of the Starnova's participation in the Idol Grand Prix. In just the span of a year, we are so overjoyed to have been able to go from 38th ranked idol group to the runner-up in this year's competition. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much. The audience broke into cheers. Thinking back on my journey to this point, so many things have happened, and as you likely heard the last couple of weeks, Aki's voice broke into tears, dripped down her cheek. Hang in there, Aki-chan! The last couple of weeks have been truly challenging for me. So much things out of my control happened, and I thought about giving up so many times, but I still kept going on and on. To tell the truth, I wanted to be first place. I wanted to be the #1. But I've come to realize something really important. Even though we are second place, I'm truly happy to have been a part of Starnova. It doesn't matter whether you're ranked first, second, third, or last. No matter your rank, what matters most is you're happy with what's going on in your life. No matter who you are, the second place idol Kashiwagi Aki will keep cheering for you. Thank you very much. Please keep supporting Starnova from now. Aki and the rest of the girls bowed down. Aki! Men, present arms! The Meta Starnova fan club raised their banner on high and cheered loud enough for their voices to be heard over the clamor of the audience. Tears welled up in my eyes as Aki returned to backstage and the 7 girls held their trophy together. I smiled and applauded along with the rest of the audience. Maybe all this time, she had never needed to be #1. All she sought was the love of the person who had brought her up. While Aki was still far from having won her mother's approval, I felt like this was a turning point in their relationship. Perhaps one day the two of them would finally meet and have a heart-to-heart. For now, I was glad to see that Aki had found the answer to her lifelong question. As I watched Aki laughing alongside the other girls, their shining trophy in hand, I knew. The smallest girl, Starnova, had been the one with the biggest heart all along. And that's it. Not really, because see, like, she looks extra small there, but she was a lot bigger when the H was going on, and I don't like that. God damn it. She's not a lolly. She's not a goddamn lolly. She's a petite young woman. God damn you. Oh, why is it showing these? Why is it showing all these pictures? We get to see Mika's thick, but this is how I have to blank this because there's tits. There's Nebu's tits. God damn it. Not like that's a problem, but you know what I mean. Oh god. But yes, why is it showing like the you know. Hooray. I never gave my thoughts on Julie's route, but I'm gonna give my thoughts on all the routes in this, like, one. No, don't give me flashbacks to the H! No! Oh, god damn it! Like, that's the innocent picture, but then when it gets into the dirty talk, it's just disgusting. I'm sorry, but that was disgusting what they did with that part. I do not like it. I don't like that they had to use the word lolly so much during that whole entire segment. It just felt very uncomfortable. God damn it. Can't you just let me enjoy Aki without the fucking, oh no, it's a lolly, oh no. Lolly, because she's lolly. No, she's a fucking young woman. She's 19 goddamn years old and she's just short and petite. God fucking damn it. If you use the term lolly, it means she's a goddamn child. But hey, people usually can use lolly to just describe body type, but the official, I'm pretty sure, meaning is just a young woman, a child underage who doesn't have the right to consent. But anyways, fucking hell. I hate that they use that so much. Oh boy. Like, she's just sitting on the chair right now. If she were to stand, she'd probably be up to the producer's shoulder. At the most. Like, that's what I think, at least. And that's not lolly sized. Oh boy. But I don't know, man. They kind of ruined it with the sex scene, but hey. Other than that, loved Aki's route. Aki's my favorite girl out of all of them because she's going through so much change. She's such a kind-hearted girl, and it just warmed my heart. I connected with her on so many growing up issues and things like that, work issues, and Aki's just fucking amazing. So until someone else can prove me wrong, then Aki's at the top of the tier list. So the tier list goes as follows. It's Aki, then it's Mika, then it's Sasami, then Nemu. I was about to say, I know someone, I was gonna say Natan, but I knew someone came before her. So yes, it's Aki, Mika, Sasami, Nemu, Natan, Maria, and Julie's last now. I don't really like Julie. I mean, I like her at the end of the story, but her story did not really give a good impression of me. Like, the whole beginning really aggravated me. So yeah, Julie's in last place until someone else proves me wrong. God damn it. I don't think anyone else will. Because I thought Aki was going to stay in last place because the whole lolly thing, but Aki's great. And fuck the whole lolly thing. It's the only thing I can say is it's funny when it's fucking said in normal conversation, but said during H, it's very yeah. Anyways, yes, love it space. And well, what's going on? August 19, 2018. Evening. What's going on? It was already way past midnight by the time the closing ceremony concluded, and peace once again returned to Odaiba. Aki stood by herself behind the stage, waiting for her producer and the rest of the girls to arrive. I wonder what's taking them so long. Doubtlessly, there were tons of reporters to talk to and staff members to oversee. It was only expected that the others would take their time coming back. Aki looked over the empty streets of Odaiba. It was hard to believe that just hours prior, this place was filled with the bodies of 1 million idol fans. She could still hear their cheers echoing in their head. It had truly been a momentous day. I suppose there's Tokyo Dome next, huh? It's always one thing after another for an idol. Oh well. All's well that ends well, I suppose. And then fucking... I knew it! I fucking know it! I fucking called it! I was about to say, unless fucking Oda shows up. And guess who fucking shows up? I knocked the disc onto the floor. Don't even know what the hell the disc is. God damn it. But yes, let me go back and actually read it. She felt a hand grasp her shoulder. But it was not the voice she wanted to hear. Yeah, I knew it was going to be this stupid fuck. Did you think this would all end like an idol anime? Oh god. Before she could scream, Oda clapped. Oh, god damn it. Claps his hand over her mouth. Aki-chan, 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 how rude of you to forget all about me. It's me, your beloved producer, the man you made into who you are. Aki struggled to break free, but her body was too small against the grown man. Oda grabbed her and dragged her away into the darkness. Why? Why? Oh, how you let me down, second place after all that, second place. Oh, what a disgrace, what a shame. But this was merely a minor setback. I'm still invincible, you see. Untouchable when you're rich and powerful like me. You can do anything. You're not. No. Oh, how I've been preparing for this moment all my life. Oh, Aki-chan, you were the one that got away. How I dreamed of what could have been. Oh, how I've longed for you. My life, my fire, my precious Aki-chan. A shame you are already so old, but alas, I shall take what is on offer. Just as Oda was about to reach into her skirt, Aki bit into the old man's palm with all her might. Ah, you bitch! She spat blood from her mouth and screamed with all her might. Help! Oh god. Damn, I screamed, and it's like late at night. I should be screaming help late at night. Before Oda could make another move, he was hit with a blinding beam of light from every direction. What? What is this? I rushed onto the scene and took Aki into my arms. Come on, this way! Producer! A moment later, Olga was tackled by a squad of security staff and handcuffed against the ground.
How dare you treat me like this? Do you know who I am? I'll have you all fired for this. Your lives are forfeit. I am the board member of Golden Cap Productions.
But his words were completely ignored. Oda snarled when Kamijo walked into the scene. Not as of 7 minutes ago, you're not.
What do you mean?
Minutes ago, I convinced an emergency meeting of the board directors. The other members have voted unanimously to divert you of your stocks and remove you from the board. You're finished, Oda-san. No, I suppose you're worse than finished. You're on your way to jail.
Laughable. The board would never agree to prosecute me. If the mass media were to find out about what I've done, then Golden Calf Idol Empire would be finished. You might as well have turned your company stock certificate into toilet paper.
Indeed, it was quite the conundrum, but you see, I gave the board a way to cover up your sexual crimes. Kamijo pulled out a folder. You did well to cover your tracks, but here, I've got proof that you've been embezzling money from the company for years. The prosecutor's office is preparing to press charges against you on suspicion of numerous corporate crimes. Of course, the shareholders are preparing to file separate civil suits as well. You will understand that you have to be held in custody while your case moves through the justice system. Most likely, by the time the prosecutor's office even makes it halfway through, the discovery will send them. And you will already have long rotted away in your little jail cell. For the first time in his life, Oda's face was in shock. Well, yeah. Well, no, it's not, but it was locked in an expression of stunned disbelief. After decades of weaseling up the corporate ladder, his sins had finally caught up with him. He had thought he was immortal, but his upstart had outmaneuvered him so thoroughly. Take him away, boys. Two security staff shoved Oda away into the security van. All the while, Oda merely looked at his shoes, his lips trembling in horror. That's what you get, you old fuck. Once the van sped away, I faced Kamijo with Aki at my side. Kamijo, even though you mightn't have helped us this time, I still can't stand the way you handled this at all. Aki most likely wasn't the only victim of that man's sexual abuse. One of your company's employees was directly responsible for the exploitation of who knows how many young talents, and you're going to cover all that up? That is so.
Kamijo!
My duty is to the well-being of my company, and that is no different for you. In the end, the criminal will die in jail. How that result was accomplished is of no concern, so long as it comes to pass. As you likely know, it is rare enough for those in power to pay their sins at all. This is as best the result as you'll ever get.
No, it isn't!
We might have worked together this time, but as I thought, you really are the prime evil behind everything. One day Golden Calf will pay for its crimes. I've been called worse. I believe this is where our interests diverge then, Producer-san. From this point on, we are once again enemies. Kamijo, one day you'll follow Oda down to hell. Until then, I'll be here to make your life difficult. Indeed, so will I, producer of Starnova. With that, the two of us went our opposite directions. Come on, Aki, let's get out of here. Before we could leave, though, Kamijo turned around and faced me one last time. Oh, lest I forget. In my investigation of Oda's financial misdoings, I found something interesting. Shortly after Kashiwagi's resignation from Golden Calf, he secretly wired a considerable sum of illiquid money to Yumiko Kashiwagi, presumably as hush money to keep her silent about what he had attempted to do to her daughter. No doubt the prosecutor's office will be more than eager to have Yumiko Kashiwagi's testimony regarding Oda's financial dealings. Perhaps they may even cut her favorably plea bargain if she were to assist with his prosecution. Then, until our next battle, Producer-san. With that, he walked off with his security detail, leaving me alone with Aki. I shook my head. That bastard had to have the last word. Regardless of whether he tried to help at the last second or not, he was still my enemy. There was no doubt about it. Once I was sure he had left, I finally relaxed and checked over Aki. I rushed over to help as soon as I heard you, but I was scared we were too late. Are you hurt anywhere? Producer. She wrapped her arm around me. Oh boy. Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. I've been messaged. As to why, I do not know. But let me tell you this. Will they receive a backhand on this day? Well, my fellow viewers, I think the answer's quite obvious. Of course they will. Alright, back to it. Leaving me alone like that, I thought I was gonna die, you know. I knelt down and stroked the back of her head. Sorry. Don't worry, that man is gone for good now. He's gonna rot in jail, where he won't be able to hurt you or anyone else ever again. Before I knew it, the other girls rushed to Aki's side as well. Aki-chan! Aki! That was close. Everyone. Sasami held on to Aki, tears streaming from her eyes. We all ran over as soon as we heard you screaming, but by then the Golden Cap people were already everywhere. Did that pervert touch you anywhere? You're not hurt, are you? No. Luckily, Producer and the Golden Cap staff came right away to stop him. Thank goodness. Seriously, I nearly had a heart attack. Oh, it's really unbelievable. I can't believe they're disgusting people like that Gramps who would try to force himself on a young girl like that. This is why those Golden Cap people are scum. Good thing we're not talents there. Ha! Screw them all! Indeed, shall I forward the details of this incident with Harada-san's associates and get them in trouble? In spite of everything, Aki swallowed her tears and put on a brave face for the girls. Everyone, it's alright. I'm through dealing with those Golden Cap people. We all left behind that messed up place to come together here. Let's all head together to our new future as Novas. I'm alright. There's no way I'd let that scum scare me. The girls looked at their center with relief. You got that right. As a former Quasar, I couldn't agree more with you. I don't have a single regret leaving that place behind. As expected, Shining Productions is where it's all at. Could not imagine working anywhere else. Well, I suppose it's not that bad here. Indeed, this is the place we all came together as one. Everyone. Aki-chan's got the right idea. I want to give that Kamijo a good punch to the face one day myself. Until then, let's all do our best to prove those bastards wrong. Oh! And so, Starnova's second Idol Grand Prix finally ended. Oda had been finally defeated, but the other great villain of this story was still out there, no doubt planning his next move. As long as Kamijo remained in control of Golden Calf, I knew that he would continue to be a great oppressor of idols everywhere. As I stared up at the night sky, I resolved to myself that one day I would surpass him. No, there's still... Oh, this is the bowl. I mean, that's nice and all, but I thought it was over. There was the credits and everything, and now, like, I'm almost at 2 hours. The very next month, the girls appeared on the glittering stage of the Tokyo Dome. I looked on with pride as they dominated the great venue in town, now a very image of top idols. What was I saying? By now, the girls of Starnova really were top idols. The fans sang along with them, their voices intermixed afloat in the sea of waving glow sticks. At the conclusion of their first song of the night, Aki walked into the center of the diamond and outstretched her hand into the sky. Look at my girl! She's so precious! I want to hug her. Anyways, everyone, thank you very much! With your support, we finally reached it! It's Tokyo Dome! The 100,000 fans before them howled in passion, the glow sticks raised on high. Aki, your Oni-chan will always be here! Do your best, Starnova! Oh god, from above the control box I saw Aki's sparkling face on the projection screen, the beautiful determined center of Starnova, and the woman I love with all my heart. Yes, she's a woman now, but she's described as a loli during the most mature thing you could be doing. Like, you can't do that you call her a woman, but then yet during the most, like, heart-connecting moment of intercourse, you call her a child. Like, you can't do that. I'm so upset that they did that. Like, why did you ruin it? Why? Like, I don't know if they were trying to pander to a lot of cons, but your boy ain't up that tree. I would like normal, spread out text. Like, why did it have to emphasize, she's Lolly, Lolly, and she's not, because she's not young. Well, she's young, but she's not underage, and she's not a kid. Like, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate that, I hate it so much. It's the only thing I would dislike about her whole route, is the fact, well, other than Oda, but that's a different type of dislike, but that, like, it's just, I don't appreciate that they did that. Like, they just made it uncomfortable to read. Warmth filled me as I remembered all the steps we had walked together on this journey. When we first met, I thought she was merely a shit loli. I mean, it's still funny, but a two-faced, burned-out ex-child idol. A loudmouth who was prone to the temper tantrums, the problem child of the unit. But as I got to know her, I found out she was the most determined out of all the girls of Starnova to this grand stage. She had been painfully aware that the world was an unfair place. She had been born with nothing but her own abilities which led to her being exploited by everyone around her. Her constant guarding of the others to work harder had only been her way of preparing them for the hardships she encountered firsthand as a child idol. And what hardships they were. When she should have been in elementary school, she had entered the harsh corporate world, capable of breaking even the spirits of grown men. Her very producer tried to exploit her, and she had been sold out by her very mother. An unbelievable story. But in the end, she had survived against impossible odds. She now stood here before all the Tokyo Dome, all of Tokyo, the shining angel of hope. Our Aki, our beautiful, magnificent Aki, center of Starnova. No matter what happened, no matter how this story continued, I would stand by her side, her helper, her supporter. In the end, I knew that nothing compared to her. I knew that I was nothing compared to her. I was just a stupid salaryman trying my best to hype up a girl far greater than myself. Solely through the strength of her convictions, the heroine of this story had found her own reason for existing in this filthy, corrupt society. Indeed, the protagonist of the story had been Aki all along. It's time for our second song! Let's go! Our rebirth! I raised my fists in triumph as the audience cheered. Go get them, Aki! Sometimes it's still not over. I don't mean to be rude, but it's still not over. Sometime after the live, Aki and I spoke in a secluded. Don't fuck, please, don't, please. Hey, producer. Yeah. You know how I said I wanted to quit being an idol? Sorry, but I think I changed my mind. Lately, all I've been thinking about is how much I love being an idol. I'm sorry, producer, but I don't think I'm ready to graduate and start a relationship just yet. So that means no fucking. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. There's still some things I want to accomplish as an idol. It's still too soon to throw in the towel. But that doesn't mean I don't love you. I know I'm being selfish, but what I'm asking is, could you just wait a bit longer for me? Aki faced me with nothing but a smile. With a smile on my face. I faced Aki with nothing but a smile. Aki, there's no reason for me to wait. Because I'll be here by your side, producing you no matter what. Don't worry, you still got an amazing idol career ahead of you. I can already see it. I'll be here doing my best to make all your dreams come true. Producer. Aki looked at me, barely holding her emotions back. She had promised herself that she would look at me as nothing more than a producer for now. Not until she decided she had enough and finally stepped down as an idol. Until then, she'd have to wait. Yeah, let's do our best to make them all come true. It is now 2019, and it is now past my birthday yet again. Oh, it's past my birthday in the future. It's 2019 now, and now it's 2019 in the game. And, oh, damn, I'd be fucking older. Before I knew it, an entire year had already passed. It's still going. As I spoke, it was like 5 minutes tops, or like 2 minutes after Julie's, and now this is still going. As I spoke now, the Idol Grand Prix 219 was taking place. However, that wasn't where we were at. Aki and the rest of the girls walked through the hospital dressed in their uniforms, bringing their cheer to the patients in this usually dreary place. With all the other idols in town were at Daiba doing their best to win the approval of the masses, Aki and the rest of the girls had decided to volunteer their day entertaining patients in the long-term care unit at the hospital instead. When asked by a reporter why she had wasted such a pivotal opportunity to finally take the first place prize at the Grand Prix, Aki merely shrugged. I'm sorry, but that's only a trophy. I decided what's more important to me when I participated in the Grand Prix last year. The patients here at the hospital can't go out to Odaiba to see idols perform. I think it's truly a sad thing, so that's why I decided that Starnova should come here instead. Isn't that what an idol's supposed to do? Bring hope to people who are weak, to those who are most unfortunate? I smiled as Aki continued to speak with the reporter. Meanwhile, I kept abreast of what was happening at the Grand Prix on my cell. As expected, Quasar was once again this year's victor, but change was on the horizon. With your continued support, Quasar has once again reigned supreme as the Idol Grand Prix of 2019. I was just 13. I was just 13 years old when I joined the general membership of Quasar. Now, over a decade later, I have an important announcement to make. I'm about to say, I had a lot of thoughts going through my mind, so excuse me for that. I was about to say, wait, is she about to admit that she's a body swapper, a man, or she's marrying whatever his name is? But no, she's graduating. Before the end of this year, I, Okuda Shiro, will graduate from Quasar. The audience reacted with shock. Men broke down into tears. It has been an incredible journey. As of today, Kaori-chan will act as the center of Quasar. The era of Okuda Shiro has passed, and now Quasar shall enter a new era, an era led by Nita Kaori. Wouldn't she be like 28, 9 now? I don't know. With that, Kaori stepped up beside Shiro. Everyone, Shiro-senpai, thank you for having brought us all this far. Please keep supporting Quasar from now on. I chuckled as the girls nervously continued her acceptance speech. From what I heard about Kaori-chan, she was genuinely a good girl who had worked her way up the ranks of Quasar through winning the love of her friends and fans alike. Quasar had not had such a pure center since Kihara Kana of past years. Yeah, wasn't Kana the chick who appeared before when we were in the office, but we don't know anything about her. Anyways, honestly, I was a little surprised that the man behind Quasar had allowed such a thing to happen. Well, for now, I was going to reserve judgment. Given Quasar's ranking system, Kaori-chan could quickly fall from grace and be replaced in the blink of an eye. Who knew what that man secretly plotting behind the scenes? No matter what, there was no way I was gonna trust that guy. It's still going. Yeah, like, it's still going. The credits have already rolled, but it's still going. The months passed, and the leaves turned red for autumn. With the passing of the season came Maria's decision to graduate from Starnova. Oh, she had been offered a prestigious job at a new host as well-respected talk show, Tanaka's Golden Hour. Well, I suppose from now it was going to be called Maria-san's Golden Hour. Given her age, it was only natural she would move on to a more serious line of work. Perhaps seeing her former teammate Okuda Shiro graduate reminded Maria that she too had to start thinking of her life after being an idol. The girls of Starnova had a beautiful graduation live, once again the greatest venue of town. And once again, all of Tokyo gathered at the Dome to give Maria the grand send-off she deserved after all her years of being an idol. Tokyo, thank you very much! Afterwards. Define afterwards. After the live, or when? The years passed, and this time Nemu decided it was time for her to graduate as well. What? A managerial position to open up at Haruna-san's television station, and Nemu wished to eventually train to become a businesswoman like her foster mother. A few months later, Mika decided to graduate to focus on her career as an actress as well. Her performance in Black Opera, the motion picture, had been a hit with both otaku and general audience throughout the country. Considering this was her big chance to be a big-name actress, she left Starnova with everyone's best wishes. One day, Natan decided she too had enough of being an idol and returned back to her hometown and took post at the local tourism office to help promote the countryside. And so, as the months passed, each girl moved on to greater things. With only 3 members remaining, the girls decided it was time to disband the unit. By then, all of them had promising careers ahead of them. Truly planned on continuing in the entertainment business as a model and solo singer. Sasami decided to leave the public arena and instead went to college for the rest of her life as a private citizen. The trio graduation live was truly a wondrous event, with the culmination of everything they had accomplished together, but it was not their end. Merely a competition of the completion of one chapter and the beginning of the next. Starnova was no more, but everyone's memories of their shining time as the greatest idols on the planet would never vanish.
Ah, boy.
I had a feeling. And so that brought us to today. I relaxed and unwound in an onsen pool. Indeed, after no less than 5 years of hard work, the service of Shining Productions, this producer had finally earned his first vacation in such a long time. It had been a long journey, and at times I worked so much, especially no thanks to that Julie. She was such a handful in her later years. I swear, at times I had to hold myself back from getting a voodoo doll with long blonde hair because of her antics. Oh, how I longed to stick some needles into that doll before I went to sleep at night. I bet she was in Tokyo right now, laughing about how lame I was to a bunch of young suits at a bar. Is she? Meanwhile, Julie was suddenly struck with an unexpected case of the sniffles. See, I was right on the money. She was at a bar right now, wasn't she? In any matter, after the years of serving as Starnova's producer, I had earned some time off work, at least before the start of Shining Productions' next big idol project. Come next spring, I was going to be producing a bunch of idols fresh out of high school. In my naivete, I was looking forward to the fact that boys would most likely be easier to manage than girls. Oh, how wrong I was going to be proven in the coming year. Oh, while Starnova was now behind me, there were countless other idol units to create after all. That was the life of a producer. And it wasn't all bad. After all, I could hardly complain with my beautiful girlfriend, Kashiwagi Aki, leaning back to back against me in this pool as I spoke right now. Bare naked. Oh.
What?
Ah, nothing, my love. Merely reminiscing and looking forward to the future. Don't fuck, please. Ah! Oh, really? I mean, it'd be one thing if it was normal, but if you're gonna use the fucking term loli, I don't want to read it. I do not want to read it. Now that her days as an idol were behind her, we'd finally been able to get serious about our relationship. While working with her every day as a producer was plenty of fun, I could get used to this kind of thing. I leaned against her and looked to the sorry skies. Man, it really was a lot of work, huh?
You got that right. We really did almost end up working until we died.
Seriously, you really overdid it. And what kind of crazy idol story would the main heroine die of overwork? If something like that happened, all the fans would have been angry, you know? It would have been nuts. All of a sudden, I felt Aki's squishier side against my back as she wrapped her arms around me.
But it looks like Oni-chan managed to pull through in the end. Aki was a real Shining Emoto idol, you know? To the very end.
I gasped when Aki bit my earlobe. Oh.
Oni-chan, here's your reward for all your years of hard work for Aki-chan's sake.
More of that. You know you're 24 years old now. How long do you still gonna act like you're a 12-year-old? Somehow, though, her body had not aged a day since I met her. Just what was this witchcraft? It must truly be the genes of an idol.
You say that, but your peen's already standing at attention.
Of course! How could it not when you're rubbing your boobs all over my back?
Looks like you're ready.
Seriously, we're doing it here? What's the matter? Everything's the matter if you read the last one.
We paid to have the whole into ourselves so that we finally got our privacy, you know.
I saw that Aki was as energetic as ever. Oh well, if she insisted. Oh. I mean, that looks pretty mature, but apparently that's Lolly. But hey, let's see if we can get through this. If you see the end, then my guess is they used it too much again. I bent Aki down against the rocks and undid her hair. Her long twin tails flopped down to the water and floated in about the pool. As expected, Aki Aru Natural was the definition of picturesque. I gave her round, perky ass a good rub. Even though she had the compact architecture, there were plenty of love down there, besides her slender arms and legs. Were exactly the kind of profile I wanted in a girl. Framed against the tranquil mountains behind her, I couldn't ask for a prettier sight. I'm putting it in, you know. I checked for her status by rubbing my fingers against her entrance. As expected, her passageway was rich with her juices. Despite that, it was still such a snug fit. I'm reading this with no enthusiasm because I'm just waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I know they're gonna say it. I'm slowly rubbing the tip of my pleasure rod against her happy hole, getting it nice and slippery. Even with this much lube, the connection was going to be tough. I closed my eyes and exhaled as I slowly worked just a hand of my specter into Aki. It's so big. Oh, there it goes. My eyes widened in disbelief as Aki's opening spread and took the length of... Oh, boy. They didn't say it, but, you know, I wasn't ready to read this at fucking 3:28 a.m. I guess I should go serious, but the first lolly, and I'm leaving. My eyes widened in disbelief as Aki's opening spread and took the length of my pinga. Then I remembered, women delivered entire babies through this hole. The sensation was incredible. I was enveloped by Aki. Every square millimeter of my pinga was being squeezed by Aki's insides. The audio always glitches when they change the movements. But yeah, if you look at this, that don't look like, Anyways, using her hips like handlebars, I began to slide myself in and out of her. Producers. Aki. I gasped and slapped her out. Aki wrapped herself around my rod, sucking the living daylights out of me. Her ring clenched around me. It was spread so wide, yet so tight. The girth of my pinga was breaking into her, but with every push, there was an equal and opposite reaction. I huffed as Aki's tunnel put death grip around my most precious part. Producer! Her passage constricted, shoving me out. With the delicate care, I jammed myself in, spreading her apart once more. And like this time, they don't have her, like, moaning the whole entire time. Like, Jesus, it was very distracting. This one seems to be more professionally done. My eyes traveled from her ample to her arched back and upwards to her neck. I couldn't hold back anymore. I pounded myself into Aki, devastating my pretty little love. See, you couldn't just say it like that. You always had to make the fucking long comment before. Like, you could have said that and it would have been fine, but no, you had to use the other term. God fucking damn it. Yes, she's small, but you don't have to use the term lolly. Lolly would be half the size she is from the looks of this. Like, Jesus. Her lips parted as her moans caught in her throat. I collapsed down onto her back, wrapping myself around her, as our bodies writhed together. I lost myself in a flood of passion and wrapped my hands around her thighs, hoisted her up, bottom up, and aided the buoyancy of the pool. She was so light that I could pick her up like a doll and pound her against my hips at will. Aki hung on to the rocks as I used her like an Ona hole. Oh, causing waves to crush across the pool. Producer, incredible. Producer grabbing Aki. I breathed in ragged gulps as my rod rose to its maximum girth. Aki, I'm gonna... Give me your everything. I want it all. Sweat dripped down my back as Aki took my... brutish strength without even a flinch. I'm like, what the fuck? As expected of a world-class idol, Her body was small, but far from weak. And this was too much. At this rate, I was going to pump her with so much that she was gonna get twins. Okay, producer. Okay. There was no way a small girl like her was going to be able to hold in all this cream. I thrust into—
See, like, it's fine when you say it's something like that, because yes, she's old enough, and yes, she's just a petite woman. But when you use the term lolly, that puts a whole new meaning on what you're saying, and it makes it a whole lot more disgusting. Why could the first one not be straightforward and normal like this? It's fine to say yes, she has a small body, but to say she's a lolly implies a whole nother thing. Like, Jesus Christ, mate. Oh, God.
Anyways, I thrust myself into the deepest recesses of Aki and unleashed my mammoth load into her. There it is. She barely covered her scream as the hot sensation of my man hose pumping cream into her brought her to climax. Clenched as her insides squeezed shut, my bad, I said sneeze. My rod and my were trapped in. Aki! I gripped her as backed up my tubes. There was already so much inside of her that there was nowhere for the rest to go. With a second gas, Aki came again, in a moment of euphoric mortality. Her convulsed, an explosion of and love juice spurted out of her hole. My second load finally ripped loose. The two of us flopped down and floated pathetically in the pool as the remainder of my squirted into her. She does look older with her hair down, I can't lie though. I mean, yes, like, see from this angle, if she were to stand up straight, she'd be relatively tall. She's not that small. But they had to make the first time so fucking bad. Like, they had to make that unreadable. Like, I could not get through that. Like, I did, but it was hard. But this one's fine because it's actually normal speaking. They're not saying, oh, I'm gonna pound into a lolly and I'm gonna burst into the lolly. It's like, when you say that, it's, ah, boy. You came so much, I thought my insides were gonna burst. Sorry, did it hurt a lot? Don't worry, Haki-chan's totally alright. But I think I really might end up with a baby at this rate. Producer-san will take responsibility if that happens, won't he? I laughed and rubbed the back of my head. Of course. Your time as an idol's over now. We can both live happily ever after together the way we want. See, that's good. See... About to say what? And so Aki's happy days in retirement began. Thanks to her great success while she was an idol, she had already saved a considerable amount of money, more than enough to guarantee her comfortable life, regardless of what she chose to do from now. And of course, I was going to continue to work for Shining Productions too. Even though my idol adventures were only just beginning, Aki's life gradually became more eventful. In fact, you could say she gradually disappeared from public view. But that wasn't to say that this was the end of her story either. Like I said, life had no ending point, where the protagonist sailed off into the sunset, leaving the audience just to presume they live happily ever after. The next chapter of Aki's life was merely a beginning. Her time as a wife and mother. Oh, look at my girl. Has she grown? Because if she hasn't grown since that day, look at how fucking tall she is. That is not a goddamn lolly. Oh my god. She's like nearly the producer. Not nearly his height, but she's up to his goddamn nose from the looks of it. So I assume she either got taller or this is how tall she is. And if this is how tall she is, why game? Why did you do it? Why did you make the first time so unbearable? Oh god, it was a beautiful day when Aki and I were happily married. Of course, all the girls reunited for the occasion, along with all their friends and families too. Congratulations, Aki-chan, producer-san. Congratulations, you two. Congratulations. Yahoo! Congratulations! Congratulations, my best wishes for your happiness. Congratulations, producer, Aki-chan. Why does everyone still call me producer? I mean, yes, I'm a producer, but can no one call me by my last name? I faced everyone with a smile. By now, many years had passed since I first met the 7 girls of Starnova. It seemed like a faraway time when we were all young, struggling performers, trying to make it big in the world. Now that we were all grown-ups, we could only look back and wonder just how we had mustered the courage to survive through those tough times. The star of the occasion stepped forward and spoke to our old friends.
Everyone, I'm happy. When all this began, I had no idea everything would turn out like this.
Aki smiled gently as I touched her belly.
I never had a good relationship with my mother. I hope once this one's born that I can do better. No, I'll do better because it's the most important thing in my life. I'm gonna be a mama.
While almost everyone had appeared for this occasion, our wedding was missing perhaps the most important guest. Yumiko Kashiwagi had been released from jail 3 years prior, but had never faced her daughter since then. She instead chose to retire to her parents' farm up in Sapporo and live out the rest of her life in quiet solitude. Perhaps she believed the best thing she could do for Aki was take her toxic influence as far away as possible, or perhaps she was too embarrassed to face her successful daughter and began daughter again after suffering through the humiliation of criminal prosecution. Aki herself seemed to be in no particular hurry to mend bridges with her mother. In fact, the fact her mother was missing from her wedding didn't seem to ruffle her feathers at all. However, I still wish that one day mother and daughter could be reunited.
It's still not over. It's been like God knows how many years after the credits. It's still not over. We're 2 hours. I hope you like an extra long episode.
One day, some years later, that opportunity finally came. Out of the blue, I finally asked her, I had some time off from work, why don't we travel north and visit her grandparents? After all, our son, now 3 years old, it was long overdue that our family paid respects to her extended family. And she just said, I suppose so.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just Aki's height, and if that's Aki's height, that's not a lolly. That's not even near lolly. That's not, like, what, how the fuck is that lolly? Someone explain that to me. She's up to his shoulder, that's not lolly. The producer must be 5 feet tall if that's considered lolly. Like, what the fuck? Oh, God, man, that's just... See, they had to ruin my girl. I couldn't fully love her because they had to throw the term lolly. Your boy ain't into that shit. She's just young and petite. Like, not young, but she's small and petite. Like, that's it. It's not a fucking lolly. Look how tall she was. She doesn't have the size of a lolly. She has, yeah, she's petite and has small figure, but that's not lolly. That's not, I don't know, but everyone has different definitions of lolly. I don't know the reactions of the last episode where I blanked it out, and I don't know the reactions of everyone talking to me. Currently, the episode that's going up right now today is episode 5, I believe, so we've got quite the ways till you get to this point. But either way, if you agree with me, let me know in the comments about this. Well, I don't feel like the word lolly properly represents Aki. It's fun for when they're just joking around calling her a shit lolly, but in actuality, she does not look like a lolly, and that's good fucking hell. All these years, I had feared that Aki still harbored resentment toward her mother. Her feelings toward that woman were far from more complex than that. But now, years after she last spoke to her, the embers of that hate long since cold. In any matter, now Aki was a married woman. It wasn't her mother. It wasn't like her mother had any control over her. What did she have to lose by seeing her just once? I don't know, but I guess we're gonna find out. And so, the 3 of us took a car trip up to Hokkaido. We finally arrived at her grandparents' address and got out of the car. A winding walkway up a green hill greeted us. I walked up the narrow road alongside Aki, my son on my shoulder. Aki looked down at her feet, giving her heart. I clasped our hands together. Just further would be. We reached the peak and saw a marvelous glittering ocean stretching out before us. And more importantly, Aki gasped and clasped her hands over her mouth. Oh, there's her mom. She had, like... Now I can tell that she's gotten taller, because now she's almost up to his, like, fucking, she's almost his height now.
So she's definitely gotten taller within the years. Because look how tall she is now. Before, she just came up to, like, his nose, probably. So she's gotten a bit taller. But it was her. Her face had wrinkled a bit more with the passage of time, and strands of gray hair had begun to appear at the top of her head. But the woman standing before us was undoubtedly Kashiwagi Yumiko. She looked at Aki wordlessly. Aki looked back silently. There was no need for words from the look on their faces. It was obvious. They had missed each other dearly. Tears welled up in Yumiko's eyes as I looked at her daughter with motherly pride. As she looked at her mother as Yumiko's eyes looked at her daughter with motherly pride, just as Aki had said all those years ago, despite her daughter had become great. I put my boy down and let Aki wrap her arms around him. She swallowed her tears for our child and looked straight on ahead with a wide smile. I raised her hand toward the aging woman before her and finally said it. There was not a trace of shame in her voice. Aki spoke with nothing but pride. Shin-chan, that person is my mama. Hey, now Aki's route is complete after 2 hours and 20 minutes. The end. God damn it. I might cut it in half because, Jesus Christ, quite the long episode. Anyways, I loved Aki so much. That was great. Oh god, I loved her story. Her arc was just fucking fantastic. Everything came together in the end, and I love Aki. Aki is my favorite out of everyone so far. It's fucking weird, isn't it? I really liked Julie in the beginning, and then I didn't like her so much at the end. Now she's in last, when I didn't really like Aki in the beginning, and now I like her a whole lot. Now she's in first. How the times have changed! Oh god. But yeah, we'll see how the tier list varies. So as we know, reigning #1 spot is Kashiwagi Aki. And the #2 spot we got Mika Akimoto. No, Akimoto is Nemu's last name. Mika, I don't remember Mika's last name. I got it. But yes, we have I don't know. Anyways, but yes, Mika's in second, Sasami's in third, Nemu's in fourth, Natan's in... Wait, did I say? Yeah, fifth. Maria's in sixth, and Julia's last. Anyways, we'll really get the tier list going once we go down everyone's route. But next time, we're gonna be going down. Drum roll, please. We're gonna be going down Maria's route because I just looked at her for some reason. I don't know. But anyways, thank you all for watching. If you like this, hit the thumbs up button and save your favorites. Also share with your friends. This has been Conixis. You can follow me on Twitter. Link is in the description below. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.